All right, so today at Two Dukes Garage, we are going to finish prepping up this body, get some epoxy primer sprayed down just on, we'll tape off around the areas where I'm still doing patches, but he spent so much time sanding, which is his favorite, getting all this stuff so clean, we don't want it to flash rust, so the bulk of the body and interior, we're gonna go ahead and get in epoxy primer. And while he is getting this the rest of the way prepped to get sprayed, get taped off, whatever we need to tape off on it, I'm gonna work on the 47. I have to create a window channel. Let's see, put it over here. So I only have the passenger side. This is what goes between the regular window and the wing vent window. I've got to make one of these just for temporary use. I've got a temporary plexiglass window to put in there just to seal it up so I can park it. So I've got to build that and the track that the window sets in. So I'm going to get those two things made, just some bent and slightly fabricated channel of metal. So get that done so we can pull this out and get it out of the way, get this body on the lift and start prepping underneath, because we're also going to color match underneath here. So we've got to get that in epoxy primer as well and get all that body work done. So we need to get it up on the lift to do that. But anyways, that's what we're doing today. And when I start fabricating on this stuff, I'll pull a couple of videos or whatever I'm doing that are, shorts on that. Should be fairly simple. Just going to use my sheet metal brake wherever it's buried or hidden around here somewhere. Anyways, make a couple of channels, weld a few tabs onto it, that kind of stuff. But then body work on this is about to just get real. And we'll show you what we're using on that when we get to it. So anyways, deuces. Deuces. All right, so this is the first piece that I've got to recreate for the window frame. And again, this is going to be a temporary thing till I can find these. There are a few out there, but the ones I found so far, they're several $100s. And I just need to get this sealed up from the weather so I can get it parked and stored till I get back on it. Anyways, all I'm doing is making a basic template from the passenger side here. Just simple paper template like that. And then I'll make my markings for these bends. You can see there's some slight bends in it, and I'll just reverse it, flip it over, make one for the other side, and then I'll make a channel just out of sheet metal that kind of recreates this piece here and a little tab on top. So nothing fancy, just enough to hold the window and keep it sealed up at the top so I can park it outside. All right, so what I'm doing here is I've taken just an old pair of calipers and I'm marking across here and then marking it on this, and I'll get my length cut to where I need it to be, and I'll put it in the sheet metal brake and I'll break what I can. I'll probably have to hand dolly some of these down, because if we look at the general construction here on the end, you can see that it's a U, but it has this extra lip that's fully folded over here. So I'll have to put a bend in it. I'll have to bend these two and then put this bend in it and then hammer this bend back around to flatten it down. But no big deal, should be fairly straightforward. And I got to make a little bracket to bolt it to the top. And like I said, I've already got my pattern made for this bottom bracket. We should be able to get pretty close. I plan on painting these anyway, so if it works out good enough, then I'll just leave it, because this is going to get sanded and painted when it's on the car anyway. So there you go. All right, for today, back on the 47. I'm missing a few parts for the driver's side window, and one of the parts is this rail here that the window itself sits in. I haven't had the glass made yet. I just cut a piece of plexiglass to fill the hole just so I can store it outside. I was also missing the track that separates the vent wing window on the door from the glass. So I got ahead of myself and started fabricating. So I made one. It's not pretty, it's just a temporary part, just so I can, like I said, until I can find the internal parts that I need. But got it in, got it made, wasn't worried about making it super pretty or anything. I'm just gonna paint it black and keep it in there just to keep the plexiglass in place. So like I said, so I can park it outside, because I need the space in the shop to get back on the 67 and be able to spread these parts out and get them painted and all of that jazz. So anyways, on this part here, I'm gonna just make a basic track. I've got some of this U-channel. I'm just going to cut it down and weld it to the right width here, because you can see it's a little bit taller than it needs to be right there. So I'm just going to trim it down, overlap it, and weld it together. Might butt weld it, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. So we'll make that track out of that. Again, these are temporary parts, and I've just got some of this angle iron, which I will use to replicate these parts here, because they look to be right about the right size. I'll use a piece of that as well, just to make this little tab on that side as well. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. So I'm not gonna bore you with a bunch of the details on this. Like I said, we're just gonna take this, split it down the edge here, bring this corner over so that it's the right width. So it's like that. It'll be a little shorter than this piece, but it'll work good enough for me to just run a little bit of silicone and hold this piece of plexiglass. And this is just a scrap plexiglass. It was like a divider or something at a school, and I had some slots and tabs put in it, so I just filled it with some 5-minute epoxy. And again, this is all just temporary, and anytime I'm driving it, the windows are likely going to be down, because it's Texas, it's summer, and it's hot. So anyways, that's what we got going on. I'll kind of show you the finished products when I get them all put back together and painted. All right, both the brackets that I was missing have been fabricated. So this is the track that holds the window, and the track that the window slides up and down on by the vent window. So hopefully these things fit. I just went ahead and sprayed a little bit of silver paint on them, poorly. Just a rattle can. It ran a little bit because they were still hot from welding. So I don't know, I don't really care. Again, these are just parts to get this thing where it can be parked outside with something sealing up the window. So anyways, that's what I got so far. Again, that's going right here. The one bracket is the bracket that bolts into the door right here, and the other bracket is the piece that the track or that the mechanism that goes up and down holds the window and goes up and down. So this piece here, this piece goes like this, side to side, and this bracket here is the bracket that goes up here to the quarter. So anyways, that's where we're at. I'll bring you back when I got a little bit more done here. All right, temporary fix is installed. I still gotta get some weather stripping and stuff to put in here. Again, this is just a junky old piece of plexi I had lying around, but got it in. Fits up pretty nice. I've got to get weather stripping all the way around there, but got it fitting. Made this, like I said, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it is temporary. It's bolted in. All that stuff fit up really well. So super happy overall with my temporary fix anyways. So there you go.